It is time! It is time for the Internet Crush Q&A you all have been waiting for. The season 1 finale of Internet Crush is finally coming to screens near you. It's finally coming out soon. And I am beyond excited for you guys to be able to have the completion of the main story that we've been following throughout season 1. So I wanted to go ahead and answer some questions that you guys have been giving me over on my Discord, Izumi's Cat Cafe. Link is down in the description, as well as on a community post that I posted. Let's go ahead and get into it. If there's any repeating questions, I won't be answering repeats just because obviously it's going to get a little redundant if I do that for every single question. So if you asked a question and you noticed that I put on screen someone else that asked the same question, it's just because I saw their comment of it first. But I saw yours too. I read yours too. I just didn't want to put it in the video twice. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the YouTube comments, questions, question mark. I don't know. What should I call them? I guess the YouTube comments. Our first question is from Just a Dog Lover 396, and they ask, how did you come up with the idea for Internet Crush? Was it inspired by something or just something you thought of, or maybe a group effort thought? I'm curious. I butchered that end, but it's okay. So Internet Crush was originally created by moi back in like 2018. It's actually how I met my fiance, which is really funny to think about in the grand scheme of things. We met back in 2018. It is now 2025. Oh my God, I'm getting old. And I created it as a movie. It was going to be a one-shot start, middle, end movie called Internet Crush. And it was not at all like Internet Crush is nowadays. The basic premise was the same, but basically I had the idea based on like fan fictions I had grown up with and like that kind of vibe to do a story that was a girl who the streamer she's obsessed with moves next door, and then from there kind of, you know, the chaos of trying to confess to liking that streamer, and then also the gravity of like having to admit that you were a fan of them in the past when they don't know that up in front, you know? So that was the initial idea that I had. And originally I did have some help with the script from a couple of friends. I don't know what their online names are now, but Bree and Leah, if you ever see this, thank you for helping with it initially. And fun fact, that is why Izumi's internet friends are called Brianna and Lee, because it is a spoof on Bree and Leah, because they helped so much with the original idea. I wanted to kind of honor them in some way in the recreation of it. So that is a fun little piece of Internet Crush trivia for you. They helped a little bit with some character dialogue and stuff, which I always loved to do with my old scripts and sometimes do nowadays as well, mainly just with Cyan, where I have one of my co-writers, buddy pals, basically write as one of the characters and then I write as the other so that the dialogue feels a little bit more natural of a conversation. And then I tweak, of course, and make it sound more specifically like those characters. But that's what they helped me with in the past. So they didn't really help me with the initial idea, but they did help me a lot with the dialogue, which was really fun. But yeah, it was me and a couple friends helping with the character development and stuff. And I renamed all the characters. It wasn't even based in Japan originally. It was very different than the version that you guys see today. But that is technically where the original idea came from. And then recently I, redid it. And I had a lot of help from Cyan with later story beats. So thank you, Cyan, for that. And then when I did not actually end up putting out that movie, it got canceled and I kind of wiped my channel like right around that time. I ended up rediscovering the idea about 2 years ago, whenever Internet Crush first came out. I think it's been almost 2 years. I think March is 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. March 25th. 2023 is when I like rewrote it as a sapphic story. Originally was a guy who moved next door, and he was loosely inspired by Markiplier. Listen. Listen. It was before I had realized that I was bisexual as well. So part of me wanted it to be inspired by some of the female gamers that I grew up with. Instead, it was inspired by Markiplier because he was one of my biggest celebrity / YouTube crushes growing up, and he honestly still is. Marky Moo, hello. Guys, I'm an engaged woman. I don't know what I'm on about. Anyways. Next question is from Morgan Roel 8944. Sorry if I butchered that. Will there be another season? Yes, there will be another season. I am not going to give any dates or anything. I don't want to make you guys think it's going to come out sooner than it might actually end up coming out. So I'm just going to say that yes, there will be a second season. There's a lot of prep needed for the second season. So expect a lot of behind the scenes streams, which I know you guys love. In the meanwhile, while I am prepping the second season, because there's a lot of sets that need to be built for the second season. Yes, though there is plans for a second season. I wanted to write the initial story that it could be wrapped up in one season. I mean, it originally was a movie, right? So like it had a conclusion within the first season. And I think that, like, if you guys just watch the first season, don't watch the second season, it's just as wraparound, kind of tied most things together. There's just some, like, character things that I want to kind of explore more, and I kind of want to be able to experience some of the characters further in their story and further in their arcs. So that is why there's going to be a second season. Whether or not it's going to be called Internet Crush Season 2, or if it's going to be called something else, and it's going to be, like, the spin-off series, I'm unsure yet, but I'll let you guys know with due time. Okay, so I got a lot of questions like, do they get together at the end, and are they gonna kiss in the next episode, and like stuff like that. And I can't say the answer to those questions, but just know I see you guys. But I don't want to spoil anything, obviously. And you're just gonna have to wait and find out. Don't worry, your waiting will come to a conclusion soon. I promise, my love. I promise. Next question is from Felix2425. Will there be future/past trauma events for some of the characters if there will be a next season? So as for like past stuff, I think you guys kind of saw us scratch the surface of Kenji's backstory a little bit in season 1, as well as you've heard a little bit of Izumi's backstory, specifically like Hiroshi's backstory. So as for past stuff, yes, we will definitely be talking more about the past trauma that happened in the next season. And as for future trauma, there will be future trauma. There will be future events that are a little topsy-turvy for some of the characters, but it's all, you know, in the name of good story, you know? So don't worry, nothing too crazy, but like, you know. Anyways. Next question, which actually kind of comes into play with the last question. This question from the amazing Samuel3107. I'm curious as to the relationship between Kenji and her father. It's a very loaded concept, but I'm wondering why/how you went about integrating that as part of her character. Okay, so this is always, since the original conception of Internet Crush, like when it was going to be a movie in 2018, has been a part of her character. So, or a part of the character of, you know, this individual. And to be fair, honestly, their personality is not far off from what it was in the original. Their name was Wes in the original. And as I said, they were a masculine presenting individual, and now they are a feminine presenting individual. So that's really the only thing that changed. So yes, this has been a concept from conception of the character of Wes, which turned into Kenji, that they were going to have a struggling relationship with their father, and they were going to be kind of the caretaker for their father rather than their father being the caretaker for them. I always wanted that to be a part of their character. Next question is from NotH111. What other series will we be expecting after season 1 of Internet Crush? So, you'll be expecting the season 2 of Internet Crush next. So I'm not going to be doing really any other role-playing series besides Internet Crush / whatever comes from Internet Crush, whether that is a spin-off series or a season 2. There's not going to really be other role plays in the foreseeable future. That obviously is subject to change, but that is currently the plan. I am going to be doing other series on the channel that are not role plays, such as like the long play series I'm doing where I play some of my favorite games. That series will be continuing. I have some really fun ideas for some like RPG modded Minecraft survival videos, which I think would be really fun. I love a good RPG mod, and I felt like that might be a fun time to like kind of mix that with improv. And then there's also some Dungeons and Dragons stuff behind the scenes that I've been working on that I think you guys will really like. Hopefully you'll really like. But yeah, no really other Minecraft role plays that aren't set in the Internet Crush universe as of right now, at least. Now, on to the Discord questions. First question is from Ash, and it's, what's your plan for Internet Crush? Like, how will it proceed? So obviously I can't tell you guys the storyline and how that'll proceed because that is shush secret stuff. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. But I will say that I do picture it having a couple like specials, if that makes sense. I imagine it having a season 2 or a spin-off series, or maybe a season 2 and a spin-off series. I see it having a D&D one-shot with the cast. I think that would be really fun. I see it having maybe a like Dungeons and Dragons themed short where it's like the actual characters playing D&D, and maybe like Mako's DMing and stuff. Maybe she like convinces them all to play together or something. There's also like a summer special that I thought about doing. It's like summer camp themed. There's a couple different things that I have kind of in my back pocket for how it will proceed. Next question is from Yuki. Is there going to be any new builds if you're having a season 2? And yes, there will be season 2, and there are a lot of builds I need to do for season 2. Mainly the later half of season 2. I mean, the beginning of season 2 also has multiple builds I need to build, but they're not as ambitious, if that's something to say. Guys, I don't know how to break this to y'all. We're going to Tokyo at one point in season 2. Yeah, we're going to Tokyo. Yeah, so I'm building Tokyo right now. I'm building like a not one-to-one recreation, but more of a very close and heavily inspired recreation of Tokyo, Japan. One that is where Kenji grew up with her dad. So that's one of the reasons, but also because we are going to be going there in season 2 of Internet Crush at one point. So yeah, I have season 2 pretty much all planned out. I think there's only a couple things that I need to tie up still with storyline things, but besides that, it's like pretty much all wrapped up in a little bow when it comes to like plotting wise, and now I just need to work on scripts and stuff. But a lot of building in the meanwhile. So a lot of streams of me building. So I hope you guys like that. Next question is from Oh Look It's Her, and they ask, will you continue Internet Crush in book form? So if you guys do not know, I've been writing Internet Crush as a book as well on the side just for fun. And yeah, I 100% want to finish Internet Crush in book form, and who knows, maybe I will publish it one day and you guys can get your hands on a physical copy of Internet Crush. I also had the idea of maybe turning Internet Crush also into like a web series, like a not a web series, a web comic. But I think that a book and then the Minecraft roleplay is probably where it's going to end, but I don't know. Internet Crush is just so close to my heart, and I think that the characters are just so fun, and I just want more people to be able to enjoy it in whatever medium they want to enjoy it in. So yes, Internet Crush will be continuing to be written in book form. There's also more things that happen in the book because there's stuff that I couldn't fit into season 1 of Internet Crush. So if I do end up releasing the books, they will have a little bit more stuff in them. Like there's some details on Denki and Izumi and how they met, which we don't really go over in season 1 of Internet Crush. Maybe we'll go over it in season 2. I don't know. But as of right now, it's just in the book, which has been really fun to kind of rewrite the whole series in a different light. So yes, I will be continuing Internet Crush in book form. Next question is from Liz, and they ask, how do you direct your voice actors? So in my scripts, I do tone indicators. So basically what that means is it looks something like this. I'll put an example on screen of maybe like the first episode of Internet Crush's scripts. Basically, I have like the character's name, so the character that is talking, a tone indicator. I think they have an official name in screenplays that is not tone indicator. That is what I call them because like that's just slowly the name that they've had in my head. But that's probably not the professional name. It has been years and years since I did the creative writing for entertainment course in high school. But that is the main way I direct my voice actors. So I mainly just add that tone indicator, and my voice actors give me an A, B, and C take, which is basically 3 different ways of saying the same line. And if I need anything said differently, I'll DM them. I don't do any live direction though, and I've thought about doing cold reads in the past, and that's actually how I met my fiance again, was through the cold read for the original Internet Crush. But I don't know if I am wanting to do that or not. I might do that for season 2 because I am going to have a slower posting schedule. It was mainly the speed. I couldn't do it with the speed I was producing episodes at in the brunt of the season, when there was so much going on. You know, I was posting every other week, girls. I was posting every other week, girls, gays, and days, you know, like it was a lot. And so I didn't really have time to do cold reads with every episode, but I do recommend doing cold reads. So for season 2, I'll probably be doing cold reads, which basically is like as many people in the cast as possible get together in a call and we read through the script, and I give directions as it goes if someone is reading it incorrectly. But it also gives the voice actors a chance to actually read through the whole script, because a lot of voice actors skim and then just read their lines, and I'm not blaming them because I am one of them. I read around my lines, but I don't read the whole script, right? If I'm only in one scene, I'm reading the scene I'm in, right? And then that's it. So it kind of gives your voice actors a little chance to like hear the whole script, so they kind of get the context more. But the main way I direct my voice actors is just through tone indicators. So if you are struggling with like your voice actors not saying the line how you want it, I recommend using tone indicators definitively. And then if that's still not working, maybe try doing cold reads. Next question is from Reaper Artist, sunglasses emoji. And they ask, if season 2 is made or being planned, would you do a casting call for new VAs? So as of right now, I have such a broad cast of voice actors kind of at the ready through friends, through voice actors from other series I've done, that I don't really have to cast for voice actors anymore. But that being said, if I do, or if I want some background voice actors, because that is something that I definitely am lacking. If I need some background voice actors to do kind of like one-off characters in episodes and stuff, I do the voices for background characters like 90% of the time, just because it's fun for me. But it'd probably be better for my production quality if I had background VAs. So maybe for that, I will do a casting call. As of right now, though, I'm not planning to do a casting call, but that is subject to change depending on if there is a character that I don't have someone to play. You know, if I have a character that I don't have someone to play and none of my other voice actors can fit their voice, I will do a casting call. But next question is from Selena. Hi, Selena. On a scale of gay to gayest, how much gayer is season 2 than season 1 gonna be? Oh, so gay. Oh, very gay. Oh, the gayest. Oh. So first of all, we have a very queer cast as it is. Like, the characters are all very LGBT coded. But I want to do even more, obviously, because who am I? Who am I? Exactly. Next little spurt of questions is from Rio, which they have 4 questions they asked me, which love that. Thank you, Rio. First question is, from a writer's perspective, how would you describe your enjoyment of making Internet Crush? Ooh, okay. From a writer's perspective, I would say it feels very fulfilling. And it almost like heals my inner child, like in so many ways. One, because as a young bi girl, not having much representation for bisexuality and girls being into girls in a non-creepy way, is something that I feel very fulfilled in like being able to produce that I didn't have. And it's an honor, like, seeing like the people that are watching my stuff now being able to be like, you know, either growing up with it or watching it as like a healing experience, since they didn't get that as a kid either. But that is the main part of it. And the other part of it is like this warm feeling of like I'm almost like with family again. in a sense. It's weird. It almost feels like when I'm like writing, especially when I'm writing with Cyan, because Cyan is my main co-writer. Love them to death. Check them out. When they're there, it helps me get even more in the headspace, because we normally talk for a while. We yap for like a minimum of an hour before we get into writing. And typically it is something revolving around what we're going to be writing. And if not, then we talk for another hour then about what we're going to be writing about. Then we start writing. And if you didn't know, Cyan is the voice actor for Kenji. So that's actually so fun, because not only do I have one of my best friends, Cyan, being able to be on the phone with me and hang out and write with me. And she's a very talented writer. I also get the chance to be able to do a cold read with Kenji. Like that's so fun. And that makes it like even more natural sounding when there's scenes between Kenji and Izumi. And I think honestly, Kenji and Izumi scenes are some of my favorite to write. Not only because obviously they're the cute couple, right? They're like they're the will they won't they of the season, right? Besides Mako and Denki, apparently they also are having their own little will they won't they throughout the season, but they ended up together real quick. It makes it sound so much more natural when me and Kenji are talking, because it's me and Cyan typing it. So that helps a lot. Shout out to Cyan. Shout out to Cyan. Thanks for helping me with scripts. I really appreciate it. Next question from Rio is, what's your favorite scene from Internet Crush? Ooh, okay, that is a good question. As I said earlier, one of my favorite scenes from a like depth standpoint is probably when Izumi and Kenji go to pick up Kenji's dad from his job because he was caught gambling again, when he has a gambling addiction and a alcohol addiction. So that's probably one of my favorite scenes, just for like, it's so different from the rest. It like changes the mood almost completely, because the rest of the series is very rom-com-y. So to go from a very like lighthearted rom-com to this really serious like problem that Kenji's father has and Kenji has by proxy, it felt really rewarding to be able to do that well. At least I hope I did it well. I hope I did it justice. But besides that, I think OtakuCon, like that whole scene at OtakuCon, is just my favorite. Like, oh, I love that. I loved the sets. I loved the montage with Mako and Izumi going around the con together. Oh, I love it so much. It is so fun. I would say probably those are my top two. And then my next favorite scene is the final episode, which you guys have not seen yet. My next favorite scene after that, which honestly probably tops all the others, is the last scene, the final scene in the finale. So you guys will see that soon. The next question Rio asks is, as the series progresses from season 2, can we expect videos with cast members from Internet Crush, like playing games, Q&As, or even basic videos together? And yes, you can. Oh my god, this is something I've been wanting to do forever. So I asked like a while back, I've asked months and months and months back my cast if they would be down to do mini game videos together and everything, maybe like hide and seek or something. And a majority of them were like, oh my god, of course, which I love. I love that so much. Some people obviously are more camera shy than others, so not everyone will be able to be there, but a lot of people will be able to be there, which is super fun. And I need to get back to planning that, because I am really excited for that. So yes, you'll be able to see that soon, and I hope it'll hold you guys over between episodes and stuff, because we won't be doing bi-weekly for season 2, as I've said, but the episode quality will be higher, and also my sanity will be better. And then the last question from Rio is, are there any characters in the series you feel more connected to or see yourself being more, other than the character Izumi? Honestly, obviously, I do relate a lot to Kenji. I mean, I don't have 1 million subscribers or anything. Well, actually, she has I think 800,000 is the canon subscriber amount for Kenji. Like, I'm not there, but like being a streamer, being a content creator online, and like that aspect of it, I relate to Kenji a lot. Finding an escape in content creation, I really relate to her a lot with. I also relate to Mako a lot when it comes to humor and how much she cares about her friends. I care about my friends so much, like more than myself sometimes, which is not healthy, and I'm working on it. But Mako, there we go, does that too, and so I relate a lot to that. I think there's little pieces of me in a lot of characters, but I'd say my top characters I relate to the most are probably Kenji and Mako, which is really funny because it's like they're Izumi's best friends. I mean, besides Denki, obviously. Denki is also one of her best friends. And I relate to Denki too, but I definitely relate far more to Mako and Kenji, I'd say. Next question is from B. What was your favorite and least favorite thing about creating and producing Internet Crush? Ooh, that is a good question. Okay, my favorite thing is the fan base that has come from it, I think. I love, oh my god, streaming behind the scenes, building sets of Internet Crush genuinely is like some of my favorite memories on this channel, period. Like, genuinely. So I'd probably say like the interaction that I have with you guys through behind the scenes stuff on the series is probably one of my favorite parts. Next to that, close second, I would say, is being able to watch my series unfold while editing it. I love writing, I love building, I love a lot of the parts of making this series, but I would say that definitely when I'm seeing all those parts come together as I'm editing is probably my favorite aspect of the creation of it. And then obviously above that is you guys being able to see the final outcome and kind of experiencing that with you, and people being passionate about something I created. That's like so fun for me. My least favorite part, I guess there is like a twinge of fear behind making anything, and that was included in Internet Crush, that you guys weren't gonna like how I took things. So I'd say second guessing myself is probably my least favorite part. But if you're asking for more of a like specific like aspect of creating it, like editing, building, like that kind of stuff, I'd probably say my least favorite part, I don't have one. I like them all. Ooh, that's a bad answer. Hold on. Okay, you know what? This is my least favorite part. Getting lines together. Thankfully, the cast for Internet Crush has been one of my favorite casts to work with, period. But there still are moments, right, where getting everyone's lines in is a struggle. And it's not necessarily a voice actor's fault, but sometimes it's just like their life is crazy and they can't get a line in, and they're working, you know, for free right now. So it's like I can't sit here and be like, how dare you not prioritize me over your job? It's like, no, prioritize your job. Have a roof over your head, right? But there are moments where that is a little frustrating because I wish I could pay them and have them be fully employed by me so that it could be higher quality and so that I could put more effort into having it be a more consistent, this is, you know, how the production goes. But sadly, the production is going to be a little up in the air because it is me, myself, and I, and then volunteers, you know? So I don't want to take myself too seriously because it's not that serious in the grand scheme of things. It's supposed to be fun. And so I try to remember it's supposed to be fun. Next question is from Izumi. Hello? Huh? It's like the Spider-Man meme. So Izumi asks 2 questions. The second question I kind of already answered, so I'm just going to answer the first question. What kept you motivated when making the series? So my motivation for making the series has gone up and down over time, right? Because I'm human and I'm also a ADHD girly, and so it's not like I can just, you know, force myself, you have to do this. But I will say, one thing that really helps me stay motivated is rewatching my series, because I put my whole heart into making this series. And I just keep getting better and better at making it, right? Like, I'm always improving. I have a long way to go still, but I definitely am I'm way better at creating it than I was when I first started, right? And that really keeps me motivated to keep going, because I'm like, well, the next episode would be even better. And then I rewatch stuff. Like, I literally rewatched the whole season last night because I was like, I want to edit the finale, because I edited the finale a lot recently, but I'm really busy, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on Internet Crush in the background while I'm doing my other work, so that way I feel like I'm still in the world and doing things around the characters and stuff. So that was funny, and that is something that I have done before as well. So yeah, rewatching my series, as well as knowing in my soul that I will just be able to keep making this show better and better, and keep making the characters more and more real and more engaging for you guys. Next question is from Sleepless Hyperactive Looney Tune. What a plentiful name. If season 2 happens, are you planning to add more representation than there already is for the LGBT community, like some transgender people or those on the ace spectrum? So, there are already ace characters. There's an ace character, I should say. And they don't openly really talk about their sexuality, because it's not the most important thing about them. It's kind of how they feel. I will tell you who they are just so that you know for future reference. It's Lee, one of the internet friends that Izumi and Denki have, and now Mako by proxy. As for transgender characters, I actually do have a character in season 2 that is very openly trans. I also have more just queer characters in general. What's the last question? Who are this? Oh, me. Oh, how interesting. Oh, well, glad you asked, Izumi. The season finale. It's coming out February 1st, baby. Anyways, I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.